No one wants to wake up and hear on the news that the over-the-counter medications or prescription drugs that they've been taking forever actually causes cancer. Now, get your paper and pencil ready because you'll be surprised at this list. Millions of people have taken drugs not knowing that they can increase the risk of a variety of cancers. And you should know what these medications are and these side effects. Because frankly, if there's a side effect-free way for you to achieve better health, then you may want to consider doing it. So keep in mind, it's really using drugs for a long term, right? The more side effects you'll get when you get exposed to more drug, and that could be really high doses in a short amount of time, or just using drugs for a long period of time. Some of these side effects are immediate, like diarrhea when you take antibiotics, and other side effects are delayed and require several years to happen. So it's important to always ask about side effects and look for alternative. There's been plenty of drugs that have been taken off the market because the side effects were just too risky. It's also not always possible to get off of drug. So if you have serious medical conditions that require these drugs, then that's a discussion between you and your medical doctors. So don't stop any of your medications by watching this video, but get informed so that you can ask really thoughtful questions at your next medical visit. So a common problem people complain about is heartburn, and you may have or used in the past a proton pump inhibitor. This class of drugs includes Prilosec, Nexium, Acifex. If you have an ulcer, you may need this for a short course. Just know if you're using them for a long term, you actually have an elevated risk of gastric cancer. That's not it. Proton pump inhibitors decrease your magnesium levels. They can increase your risk of getting pneumonias and C. diff diarrhea, as well as increase your risk of fractures. Now, gastric acid is obviously there for a reason, anywhere from digestion to killing germs. And that's why when you mess with your metabolism, there will always be downstream side effects. And so if you can find a natural way that has no side effects to improve your health, especially to tackle blood pressure, then that would be beneficial. Half of Americans have high blood pressure, and many people have taken a diuretic called hydrochlorothiazide. This medication is linked to skin cancers such as melanoma. Now, this makes sense. When you take a thiazide diuretic, it actually makes you more sensitive to the sun. It causes phototoxicity, meaning that when you go in the sun, it causes DNA damage to give you a sunburn. In the 1980s, thiazide diuretics were also associated with kidney cancers. Again, manipulating your metabolism, trying to fix your blood pressure will have unwanted side effects. And unfortunately, kidney cancers or renal cell carcinoma is one of them, besides urinating in the middle of the night, kidney stones, dehydration, and electrolyte issues. Now, again, you don't want to just stop your blood pressure medications because the immediate side effect of having high blood pressure may be worse than the low risk of getting these cancers. But bring it up with your doctor. Have a heart-to-heart discussion and see maybe changing your medications around can potentially reduce your risks. Another class of blood pressure medications are angiotensin system blockers like ACE inhibitors or angiotensin receptor blockers, which also have been linked to getting lung and prostate cancer. The thing is, cancer cells are simply mutated cells that have run amok, right? They're natural cells or normal cells that one day was doing, good work for your body, and then all of a sudden it got just beat up in a sense and screwy and decided to do what it wanted to do, irregardless of if it was going to help your health. And apparently, being on drugs sometimes can trigger this. And so it's really important to keep in mind that it's really the long-term use of these drugs, using it in a short-term basis as a bridge to getting your lifestyle in the right order is not the concern. It's when you're on it for years that can cause these cells to mutate. Remember, in your body, these chemicals don't work in isolation. They affect multiple pathways, but drugs are tested and they're looked at in one pathway, kind of like very narrow-minded, like almost, focusing on just one point, where in the body, there's so many different points that drugs don't take in consideration. And we don't know until data comes out with more and more side effects to show us what other pathways these drugs actually affect. And when you take a blood pressure medication, we're trying to extend your life by keeping your blood pressure normal, but sometimes there's a trade-off, right? That extension may only go so far. High blood pressure, though, by itself is deadly. It needs to be addressed. At one point, people were dying of malignant hypertension like Franklin Delano Roosevelt. So we do need to get your blood pressure under control, and blood pressure affects every system in the body. It suppresses your immune system. It can give you heart attacks and strokes, and it can kill your kidneys. I mean, really, of all the organs, I think the kidneys are so underappreciated. Your kidneys are the workhorses for your body, filtering about 300 times your blood in a day. It also controls your pH balance, your sodium, potassium, and it makes sure that you're not anemic. It controls your calcium and your phosphorus ratios as well. So controlling your blood pressure also helps your kidneys from extensive damage. And when your renal system is damaged every day by high blood pressure, then you'll eventually kill it off. When your kidneys don't work, it also causes your blood pressure to go up. Your kidneys also make hormones such as vitamin D, as well as other critical hormones that are necessary for your health. And when it suffers its wear and tears, so many different aspects of your health will suffer when you lose your kidneys. So I have a question for you. If you had a choice to preserve your heart or to preserve your kidneys, which one would you choose if you had to make that choice? You could put your answer in the comments below. But when your body is stressed, it will make a choice for you. And under enough stress, it will shut off your kidneys to support your heart. All your organs get shut off to support your brain, your heart, and your lungs. Those are the critical organs that you need to pump and to work all the time. So this is why when you're having blood flow issues, your kidneys will be the first one to suffer. They're like the canary in the coal mine or the sentinel chicken. I mean, they basically warn you of other things that may come. Nearly 786,000 people in the United States are on dialysis. They don't have working kidneys. And they require dialysis 3 times a week if they go into a machine, or if at home, they require it every day. They will get very sick if they miss dialysis, but dialysis at the same time will wipe them out because it's exhausting to get your blood out, filtered, and to be pumped back in. Many people end up with kidney failure from uncontrolled high blood pressure. So I basically went through this very lengthy explanation of why it's important for you to control your blood pressure if you have to take medications that really can increase your risk of cancers. As a bridge to do that, then I think it's actually important to do so. But ultimately, you have to change your diet and lifestyle, because if you don't do that, you'll never get off these medications. Well, what kind of diet should you have? Well, really, there's only one diet that is backed by science to help you maintain a normal blood pressure, reduce and prevent heart disease, kidney diseases, and cancers, and add years of longevity to your health. Endorsed by the United States Department of Health, by United States Health and Human Services, by the National Institute of Health, by the CDC, by the American Heart Association, by the World Health Society, by the National Kidney Foundation, and many, many other organizations. The diet that will improve your health is a diet rich in whole food plants. This is the essential component of a diet that can revolutionize your health. So if your diet isn't predominantly whole food plant-based, then you're missing out on the opportunity to get healthy. What kind of plants, do you ask? Well, see you in the next video.